I just wanted to post images, you know, I wanted to change the world in a way that, you know, celebrated Black queer men. I needed that. I needed something to save my own life and let myself know that, like, I do have value. We really wanted to take the stigma of HIV and flip it, right? Black queer men were tired of fearing HIV, like, we can win this thing, but the only way we're gonna be able to do that is if Black queer men realize the value that they have, right?
Even though it has been 40 years since the first reported case of HIV in the US, stigma and misconceptions around the virus remain high, and HIV impacts communities of color disproportionately. For Brut, I'm taking you to Atlanta, Georgia, to meet with Richard Hutchinson, who is reimagining the term HIV.
When I found out my diagnosis, I remember there was a time where I stopped breathing. I was thinking of so many things. It was heavy. I was thinking like, oh my God, how did this happen to you? Like, you're teaching people how to protect themselves. Like, how did this happen to you? So I felt a sense of shame. While at the same time feeling like I'm going to be good because I have people who are going to support me. It's almost like it happened for a reason. It was like God was saying, like, I need you to use your own lived experience to change the lives of people who may not be able to speak for themselves.
This is the very first photo that we posted. It got so much attention, so many people, and they were like, oh my God, this is like the new age prevention messaging and things like that. It was a powerful moment for us. And from there, it's like, okay, people are taking heed to this. And so then we started doing other pictures. Can't believe it's been like 6 years since I've been here, since I moved to Atlanta, since I've been diagnosed, and since He is Valuable became a thing. It's crazy. He is Valuable was birthed from my own diagnosis, as well as just realizing the impact of HIV on the Black queer community. We are a nonprofit organization. How can we create imagery, create experiences that celebrates the holistic lives of Black queer men, regardless of HIV?
Good to see you in this mother jacket.
You better give.
Oh, you smell good too.
Oh, thank you. Hey, baby. I'm good.
In Black community, you know, we don't talk about sex, and our parents don't want to bring it up, except for this like fear base of like, you better wear a condom, you better not do this, you better watch this, don't bring no kids home, like, but that's not enough.
It's hard when you don't have anybody to have those conversations with, though those conversations aren't part of sex education. Nope.
And I think that's where children, we're so like afraid to like, oh, they're too young or they this, but like, if we don't do that, they're gonna discover the world on their own. Stop being scared and talk about sex with your kids. Yeah. With my first experience, particularly with HIV, which is like my cousin, when I was 16, he had HIV, and I didn't know what it mean. I didn't know what HIV meant. And he was openly gay. And I just knew my mom and family would be snickering and making comments about him and talking to him about his back. And imagine like, I'm internalizing that because I'm like, I don't really know what I am, but I know that like he's reflecting something in me, and I don't really want to say that, but like I hear everyone talking about him, and my mom would just say, if you think you're gonna be gay, this is gonna happen to you. And my cousin died of AIDS complications when I was like 16 years old. And I saw that, and imagine, I didn't even get to come out, I didn't nothing. Like I didn't even have sex with a boy yet. I'm like, and that's all I know. That's all that anyone said to me, like wear condoms, don't get AIDS.
To me, that's how I feel like we're going to fight HIV. Mm-hmm. By breaking out of our shells and being like, you know what, we're here. Mm-hmm. Period. And we're here with every bit of ourselves and looking good doing it. That vulnerability, that authenticity is what we need if we really want to save ourselves.
Mm-hmm. I live here in Atlanta, but I'm a Jersey boy at heart. I moved here when I was 25. I always knew that I was different. You know, I've always had a sense of like, I want to change the world. I think at 5 years old, I realized that I had like these feelings for like people that looked like me, meaning guys, but I didn't know what that was. I remember just praying and crying at night and not being able to sleep as a kid, just wishing and praying that this feeling or whatever, this curse or whatever you got on me, just take it away. My mom didn't want me to be gay because what she knew gay was that you're gonna get HIV and you're gonna die. And that's the story of so many of Black, queer people. It's like being gay is equivalent to like AIDS and dying. And that's a traumatizing way to navigate your identity.
So now I'm waiting for my doctor to come in. So what we do is usually we go over my labs from the last time that I came, 3 months ago, to check my viral load and make sure that I'm like still undetectable. Also to make sure that like no STDs or STIs. To talk about my liver and kidney function and other things like that may have been brought up to our attention through the blood work. And yeah, and just to check in with her and see if things are going good with my treatment.
Various treatments are now available for those living with HIV to manage the virus and reach undetectable levels, meaning it cannot be transmitted. There are also effective preventive medicines like PrEP, a daily pill that reduces the risk of getting HIV. But data shows that there are still major inequities that exist in accessing treatment and care.
So I'm going to meet with one of my friends, Darian, to talk about our doctor's appointment. I had a doctor's appointment earlier this week, and he had his today. And so we're just gonna check in to see how it's going, how's life treating us, and what's going on with our HIV treatment.
How you going?
I'm good. So you came from your doctor's appointment today?
Yes. I was still tired. Got off work at 1 o'clock, but I made it on time.
What time was your appointment?
9 o'clock.
Oh, see, what did you talk to your doctor about?
She said, do I have any sexually active partners right now? I said, no, not really. I need some.
You said no?
Yes.
So we lying to our doctors now?
I haven't been out there like I used to do.
But she said, are you sexually active?
No, she said, do I have any sexually active partners right now? I said, no.
Huh?
I haven't had sex.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a great day, honey.
HIV is not just about like getting people treatment, like, cause treatment exists, but like everyone doesn't have access to it. So that's a social justice issue. So like, yeah, the cure may come out, but that don't mean you're gonna be able to afford it or access it because, you know, we low income, people who don't have access to healthcare, they're not gonna be able to get access to the cure. How much is that gonna cost? Cause imagine the HIV meds is like $3,000 a month. So how much will the cure cost per person? Cause like, when life gets hard for me, I feel like I'm more blessed than like most, but like when I have to focus on work or do multiple things just to survive, sometimes you forget to take my medicine.
I do.
Because I have other priorities. Like it's about survival as opposed to like thriving. Yeah, we got a lot of work, still a lot of work to do.
So you want that sandwich or no?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a good day.
When we talk about the medical industrial complex, a lot of Black and brown people have been traumatized by those institutions. So that puts us more at risk for things like HIV and poverty and higher unemployment rates and, you know, lack of education and access to education. All of those things, those type of social injustices are, you know, HIV is often the result of those things coming together and meeting at this intersection and just bow.
For me, I don't know what it means to be like gay in Atlanta without Joe. Like
It's literally people fly into town and this is the spot. It's kind of sad.
You know, it's not like a fancy place, like a super fancy place.
That's,
so it's
but
not
I
like,
feel like that's the point. So
but
it's like
it's where the girls come.
it's our cheers where everybody knows your name.
Exactly.
This is the model. What you?
And you
This is
meet
the
new
walk right here.
friends. You can take some shots, meet new friends.
Maybe if this bar could talk, they would talk about me so bad.
1 in 2 Black gay men are going to contract HIV in their lifetime. We are more than those numbers. We are more than just this projection, right? And the projection means that if we do nothing different, if we do nothing that's more innovative, if we do nothing that, really impacts community, those projections will become a reality, right? And so that's what birthed this idea of like, we have to find some innovation on how to engage our community around this topic, because this 1 and 2 doesn't have to be true.
I use gay dating apps. You might have heard of them, like Jacked, Grindr. Mine says like Paz, like Zaddy, Queer, Guy Next Door, and I put status positive, undetectable, because I'm a person living with HIV. And as of my most recent doctor's appointments, I am HIV undetectable. Meaning like my viral load is so low that I'm unable to transmit HIV to someone else. Now, there have been times where some people have came at me and said, like, why would you share this? Like, that's personal, like, or probably have denied me. There are people that, who are completely against people living with HIV, and they will put it out there. When people create that type of language and that type of environment, like, what does that mean for, like, prevention, right? What does that mean for like getting people tested? Because people now are gonna feel guilty or don't wanna be associated with that, so that's gonna make me less likely to wanna get tested, because I don't wanna know what my actual status is, because I don't wanna have to tell people that I live with HIV so they can criminalize me, demoralize me, dehumanize me because of my status, which makes our work of like trying to get people into care and trying to get people to get tested or on PrEP harder because of that type of stigma. So I'm packing to get ready for the photo shoot. And what's really gonna be exciting is that we're gonna be replicating some of the first photos for the campaign. That smell good. Oh. 1, 2, 3, raw.
No, this is actually a large, so that's yours.
Okay. This is what I'm wearing. My body part's gonna be out.
Okay. This is an extra large.
This is stretching.
Richard is a.
This is an extra large.
What do you have?
It says extra large.
Okay, so use.
Yeah, that's the large. Oh yeah, that one mine.
Oh, you let me know.
Y'all come over here and tell me.
Your cake's gotta be out.
People might think that, black queer men like love to be naked, but some of us struggle with like body positivity, and so like doing this is not even just for like the sake of excitement sometimes. It's a journey for us to like do stuff like this. Like I had to get myself together in the bathroom to like tell myself that it was okay for me to wear this and that my body is okay. So this is nerve-wracking for me, but we're gonna.
One of our things is to create positive imagery of black queer men. Your sexuality is demonized. You're told that it happens in the dark. You're doing things behind closed doors. You don't know how to celebrate that if you've never seen it. A lot of us have struggled to love ourselves for that, right? A lot of us look in the mirror and have not been able to look and say, I love my body, I love my sexuality, I love the way I'm shaped, I love my eyes, I love my lips. We can celebrate that while, getting our community the services that they need. We can celebrate our bodies and our sexuality while we change the world.
Yeah. Like you trying to make him feel like the best thing in the world.